of Judah, chains on the fields of grain. 8 long years of cursing, foreign tongues calling our names. Altars cracked and crooked, fathers bowing in shame. One voice tears like thunder when the Spirit calls your name.
Othniel, first of the judges, lift that sword at the tyrant fall. Fire in the heart of the desert, you were the answer when we cry, when we call. Othniel, son of Kenaz, roaring like a storm through the walls. From the dust of a broken people, you rose, you rose, you rose for us all. Nephew of the lion-hearted, older battles on your hands. You took the bride and fountain, now you stand for all the land. From Aram's iron chariots to the tents of cruel kings, you ride with holy anger and the fear of heaven sing. That sword, let the tyrant fall. Fire in the heart of the desert, you were the answer when we cried, when we called. Othniel, son of Kenaz, roaring like a storm through the walls. From the dust of a broken people, you rose, you rose, you rose. In the dark, we remembered the name. One man stepped into the furnace and walked back out in flame. Hey! No crown, no carved stone throne, just a call and a tribe and a God alone. Othniel, first of the judges, lift that sword, let the tyrant fall. Fire in the heart of the desert, you were the answer when we cried, when we called. Othniel, son of Kenaz, roaring like a storm through the walls from the dust of a broken people. You rose, you rose, you rose for us all. First of the fighters, lead us still. When the yoke returns like a shadow, let your courage be our will. Egyptian fabric. Throne room turned to grave. Breath is cut, crown is empty. All the trembling servants fade. Left hand of judgment raised from the dust, striking the tyrant, breaking his trust. When the right arm falters and hope feels gone, the left hand of judgment brings the dawn. Slips through the shadow gates, horns cry out, alarms too late. On the hills a fire sign, warriors rise, their hearts align. Not by strength of sword alone, but by courage, fighting from the judgment raised from the dust, striking the tyrant, breaking his trust. When the proud throne crumbles and fear is undone, the left hand of judgment leads us on. Marching on. Oh
quiet prayers in the fields. One man stood from the furrows, hands calloused on wood and steel.
With an Oxgoad raised like a thunderborn sword, you draw a line in the sand. Shem-Gab-en-Adnath, hammer of the horde, heaven remembers your name. From the furrow to the battlefield, you set the fields aflame. They came laughing in armor, spears like a forest line. You had only a plowman's staff, dust and a stubborn spine. You felt the ground start shaking, heard mothers hold their breath. So you lifted up that simple rod and walked straight into death. With an Oxgoad raised like a thunderborn sword, you draw a line in the sand. Shem-Gab-en-Adnath, hammer of the horde, heaven remembers your name. From the furrow to the battlefield, you set the fields aflame. No crown, no shining banner, just sweat on a farmer's brow. If no one rises for us, then I will rise right now. Right now!
Every step was a covenant, every breath a battle cry. When the dust at last had settled, only you remained alive.
Rider of the storm, 600 fall where you stand. With an Oxgoad raised like a thunderborn sword, you draw a line in the sand. Shem-Gab-en-Adnath, hammer of the horde, heaven remembers your name. From the furrow to the battlefield, you set the fields aflame. Gideon's banner on the hillside, Sisera tasting our fear again. Under the palm of Deborah, judges gather in the dust. She speaks thunder into silence, turns their doubt into rust. Has not the Lord gone out before you? Her eyes like drawn out steel. Up to Mount Tabor, man of battle, now rise and make this real. Right, Barak, right through the storm, 10,000 hearts in your head. Deborah's fire on the hill is burning, calling courage out of the lead. When the war horses pound the ground and the sky turns black with rain, sing the song of Deborah's fire as you break the tyrant's chain. Over Kishon, thunder answers her command. Chariot wheels choke in the river, iron drowns in the sand. Barak's blade in the chaos, tribes roar shoulder to shoulder. Caesar flees from the carnage, lion running from his own order. Chase him down, do not grow weary. Her voice rides every cry. Every step you take in terror now returns a battle cry. Right, Barak, right through the storm, 10,000 hearts in your hand. Deborah's fire on the hill is burning, calling courage out of the lead. When the war horses pound the ground and the sky turns black with rain, sing the song of Deborah's fire as you break the tyrant's chain. Sleeps in a stranger's shelter, soft words milk to still his breath. Hammer raised in a hidden halo, one last promise kept in death. In the streets they wait for his chariot, veils and victory in their eyes. But the wheels are smashed in the river and their glory never arrives.
Threshing wheat in a hidden wine press, dust and dread in a silent land. Rise, you mighty man of valor, spoken soft by a blazing hand. Broken altars, shattered idols, a new name burning on his soul. Cherubim, storm and hammer, called to tear the darkness down. He was small in his father's household, he was last in a frightened line.
But the call cut through his trembling, this weak heart will be my sign. 300 against the night, torches in the jar, swords in the light. Not by the strength of the many who stand by the word of the one, I rule this land. 300, the odds are wrong, still we ride and we raise this song. Great is the hand that chooses the small, Gideon, Jerubbaal. Gideon, Jerubbaal. Valley floor like a sea of locusts, iron teeth on a tide of men. Every hill lit red with campfires, every whisper, this is the end. Yet the dream of a tumbling Bali rode like thunder through their camp. One man shaking in the darkness saw the fall before it came. He crept back with his courage burning, heard the fear in the enemy's cries. Rise, he shouted to the sleepers, for the battle is in their minds. 300 against the night, torches in the jar, swords in the light. Not by the strength of the many who stand by the word of the one, I rule this land. 300, the odds are wrong, still we ride and we raise the song. Great is the hand that shatters the wall, Gideon, Jerubbaal. Gideon, Jerubbaal. Jars cracking like thunder, fire bursting from their hands. Trumpets calling down the terror, echoed over shattered plans. Each man stand in his place now, circle closing round the plain. Enemy blades turned on each other, they were buried in their shame. 300 against the night, torches in the jar, swords in the light. Not by the strength of the many who stand by the word of the one, I free this land. 300, the weak made strong, still we ride and we raise the song. fearless flame in fragile flesh. When the world counts you as nothing, remember how 300 crushed the rest. Blood-soaked hill, brothers buried where the wind stands still. You stood there crowned in the dust and ash, cheap iron circlet hung her under the sash. You cried, remember that I am your bone, but the oath rang hollow as a rusted throne. The crowd shouted back, but your heart stayed cold, made of splinter, smoke, and gold. Abimelech, son of Gideon, you lit a crown like a funeral pyre. You carved your name into broken men, short-lived king of a borrowed fire. Abimelech, hear the hammers ring on a kingdom built from a brother's grave. You took the throne as a would-be king, but the stones rose up and you could not be saved. From the oak of Shechem your uncle cried, let fire from the thorn burn the tall trees alive. You laughed at the warning, marched on in steel, salt on the ruins where your enemies kneeled. Tower, listened to them scream, thought the smoke and sparks would crown your dream. But every flame you fed with the rage and spite cast your shadow sharp in the judgment light. Abimelech, son of Gideon, you lit a crown like a funeral pyre. You carved your name into broken men, short-lived king of a borrowed fire. Abimelech, hear the hammers ring on a kingdom built from a brother's grave. You took the throne as a would-be king, but the stones rose up and you could not be saved. At the bay's wall you raise your shield, bring down down the tower, this town will yield. A nameless hand from the shattered height dropped your doom through the smoky night. Cracked skull, crushed pride, you fell to your knees. Strike me through, you spat, let them never see. Blinded by blood, by your own demand, your squire shook as he took your hand. Abimelech, son of Gideon, you lit a crown like a funeral pyre. You carved your name into broken men, short-lived king of a borrowed fire. Abimelech, hear the hammers ring on a kingdom built from a brother's grave. You took the throne as a would-be king, but the stones rose up and you could not be saved. Song of honor in the fading drum, just a caution carved where the vultures come. Seek not a crown from a butchered line, or the rock you scorned will break your spine.
tambourines dancing footsteps, joy that cuts like a hidden blade in him. His daughter, his only child, spins in circles singing his name. He tears his robe, you've broken me, yet my oath stands like a chain. Crowned and ash in a victor's crown. Jephthah, captive of his promised blood and glory, both weigh him down. Yahweh, you delivered foes tonight, but the price at my door is the fire of the vow I swore. Jephthah, the vow forever burns. Jephthah, the vow forever burns. There's a wind in his lungs, vows on his shoulders, sunlight burned on his tongue. Bare hands on a lion's jaw, dust, bone, blood in his grip. He walked away, laughing, power burning his fingertips.
Samson, lion breaker, tearing down the gates of stone, fought the fearless torn from their seeing, yet he remembered the light. Guide my hands to the pillars, let me die with my foes. Stone trembled, sky opened as his final fury rose.